Hi, Mr. Ford here, and today we're going to be taking a look at changing dimensions of a shape in TinkerCad. Content covered in this video includes identifying the length, width, and height of a shape, selecting a side to change, changing the dimensions, and changing the scale of your overall project. Let's get started. So here we're starting off with just your basic box shape. You can see down at the bottom my scale is 1 millimeter. You can read that down on the bottom right. And if I select my shape, I can go around these different nodes and I can see their dimensions. Now there's a whole bunch of these little nodes that you can click on to manipulate and change the size of your shape. The white nodes on the base allow you to change the length and width at the same time. These kind of act like a diagonal shape change tool. The white node at the top, dead center of your shape, allows you to change the height, the overall height of your shape. And the black nodes on the base, kind of centered along each face, allow you to change one side at a time, either length or width. Now, when you select your shape, you're going to see a couple of other things. You're going to see this little cone hovering on top and these little bendy arrows floating around. These bendy arrows are your degrees of arc. So you can actually grab them and rotate your shape. Now, the reason there are so many is because they exist on different axes. You can flip your shape to the side, you can flip it upside down, do all kinds of things. You'll notice though that when you rotate your shape, you can end up with your shape hovering, and this isn't a big deal for design, but it is a problem if you are looking to 3D print your shape. Floating shape has nothing underneath it, which means when the printer starts, it's just going to make a big puddle out of all of your printing material. Now the cone allows you to lift your shape off the ground and control how high it is off the ground. So let's say I wanted to stack this one box on top of another box. I would just drag the cone up, reorientate myself, and then I can continue working to put this box on top. And this is super helpful if you don't want to switch between work planes, if you want to stay kind of on your tabletop and not be using an up and down work plane. Next we're going to talk about scale. So your scale is measured in millimeters, inches, or bricks, which is just TinkerCad's own measurement. And you can find the scale down here on the bottom right. If you click Edit Grid, you can see that you can change the size of your grid up to 1,000 millimeters. That's about 100 centimeters or 1 meter. You can come up top and you can change your units between millimeters, inches, and bricks. And down underneath, they have these presets, which are really great because these actually give you the grid space of a specific type of 3D printer. And so if you're looking to print your design, you can change your design in TinkerCad to fit the platform or the size of space that you have to print from for a specific printer. We're not too worried about printing now, which allows us to head down that we can change on these different units. And you can see they have decimals of a millimeter, which are even smaller than a millimeter, and they go up to 5 millimeters in size. We're just going to stick with the default of 1.0 millimeters, and that'll be fine for us. But knowing how to change the scale and knowing how to modify things in TinkerCad will let you organize your work in the future if you choose to print something. I'm Mr. Ford, and this has been Changing Dimensions in TinkerCad. Content covered in this video included identifying the length, width, and height nodes of an object, selecting a side to change, changing the dimensions or orientation of your shape, and lastly, changing the scale.